Hi everyone, and welcome back. Hope you had a lovely day. I had an interesting one, a very interesting one. Just a couple of minutes ago, I saw an incredible mail, and I want to start by sharing this email with you. But let's get the people connected, and let's start discussing. I'm waiting for sound check. So if anybody can make sure that we have good image, if we have good sound. Hello, anyone? Jorgen, you don't have to study for your exams. You have to spend time with us every night. I appreciate, but still, make sure you get good grades. Hi, Cosmin, how are you? Hi, Elena. Good. So I guess everything is in order. We're connecting. I'm not going to keep you too long today. It's been a very interesting day, as you can already see on the public information on the announcement, on the company announcement. We made a very decent proposal towards AFO. A proposal that I will summarize for those who didn't have time to read it, and of course I advise them to take some minutes to read it also. So we wrote as a public announcement because of course you will understand that we are in the dark here, and I will also prove it later how in the dark we are and how funny it is if it was not said. So we made a letter today this morning, sorry, I apologize, to everybody that is concerned about this topic. So we explained on a company announcement that we are not seeking to claim anything against AFO. We believe that AFO, being a state and governmental institutions with a lot of traction and of course a very good mandate, should not be in the middle of, or should not fall in the middle of this corporate battle between us, Danske, and Kronman Reumert. Therefore, we have officially extended the olive branch and have asked them to come to a settlement agreement with us, pending prompt release of the arrested funds from the escrow account, which they can of course do, and a full repayment on a first withdrawal from the equity line from Iris. They can get their money directly from Iris. It's a very decent offer, in my opinion, and of course you can see it and you can understand if it's decent or not. And we have officially also confirmed it before. We are pursuing negligence claims against the board for not fulfilling their duties when the uplisting to the main market of the company occurred in late 23, for not preparing well the prospectus and everything that followed afterwards in relation with AFO. Should they have checked more the board, or should AFO inform them more? It's a subject between the board and AFO in a claim that the company will have against the board. Therefore, everybody knows about this right now. We should not spend so much time on that. It's a decent offer. This offer will expire at next Friday, on the Good Friday. I'm also Catholic, therefore I celebrate Easter there. So I believe that there is also decency left in the corporate world, and we should consider that this is a normal way to operate and to move forward, because we have an EGM. We have a tremendous amount of support for the EGM, as you can see. I appreciate a lot the help we get, and slowly but steadily we will be able to bounce back and to rebuild this. So I'm very positive that with your support and your help, and that's why I do it every night, every day. I'm here trying to solve the problem for us. I'm kind of thirsty, so I apologize. But any questions for related to the topic that I just presented? Good. Let me tell you something interesting. I don't know how to start, honestly, because I find it quite funny if it was not said. So today, and I'm doing it live as usual, so I will share the screen so that everybody can see it. I apologize, I've never seen such stupidity in my life, so I'm going to high progression. Luis, sorry, I apologize. We have, so I'm going to share something funny, funky, or however you want to call it. It's an email that I got today at 1:48 p.m. So it's an email from Kronman Reumert, if you can imagine. First email in a while. Yeah, I was missing them to respond something, and instead of answering the questions to us and trying to at least give us some light. Hi, Peter. Let me tell you what they asked. It's funny if it was not said, like I said. So. A lady, senior associate, an esteemed lady, Homa Pakdel, very Danish name, senior associate advocate, writes to us, Dear Mark, Zaco, CC above, and it includes in CC people from Zaco, okay? And I will explain to you exactly what it is. Has informed us that they are withdrawing as representatives of Shape Robotics AS IP portfolio and returning all portfolio details and files to Shape Robotics AS, okay? Please note that the IP rights of Shape Robotics are subject to a floating charge in favor of Danske Bank and AFO. This charge has been exceeded by the pledgees on the 30th of October 2025, and according no disposition of the assets might be made without the express consent of the pledgees acting through us as their representatives. Any unauthorized disposition of the pledge assets will be pursued, and all rights are expressly reserved on behalf of the pledgees. Besides the fact that she doesn't say anything in this email, of course, this is absolutely a nonsense what she's saying here, but I'm not going to go into the legal aspects. I want to tell you something very funny. Again, I repeat myself because this is the only word I can use uncensored, or although we are on a live cast, therefore on a separate channel that is not bound to let's say two heavy rules on how we should express ourselves. I'm going to keep it civilized, but please read again. Dear Mark, CEO of a public listed company, yeah? Zaco, a private entity, Zaco AS, it's an IP house, okay, has informed us that they are withdrawing as representatives of Shape Robotics AS, which is true because this is something that we have requested Zaco to do, and we asked them to withdraw because I will explain to you why with another email. And again, these emails will be made public, and you shall have the you should have them also for your reference to read them and to put it as a close to 1st of April joke. Okay. So a lawyer that represented the trustee or was it part of the trustee team till, let's say, I don't know, I don't even know, 20 days ago, we are day 22 or something like that, I think it's day 22, writes to me in CC with one of the vendors, one of the service providers of Shape, okay, asking us not to work with them, or I don't know what, or confirming that they are in connection with them even after they're not trustees. So first of all, I want to ask something very clear to this esteemed lawyer, Homa Pakdel. Homa, who are you and why are you talking to our suppliers? If you are the trustee, then of course we know that you are the trustee because de facto you are still running the company as you didn't give us any documents. But okay, now you just admitted it publicly. Then Zaco, who are you, Zaco, to talk to Homa, and then which is the commercial relationship between you two? This is absurd, okay? So let me show you what I've answered. Of course, this answer went to all partners of Kronman Reumert and everybody that we could find on public. Because I mean, leave Louise be. She's whoever she wants to be. Please do not do such things. She has the right to say and ask any question, or he has the right. We will be decent on this channel. We might make some fun sometimes, but let's try to keep it very civilized, okay? So, coming back to our reply. So we replied, "This dear Miss Rahbar Pakdel, thank you for your email. It is appreciated. It is appreciated not for its legal merit, which is absolutely non-existent, but because it provides written evidence of Kroman Reumer coordinating with Shape Robotics private service providers without authorization. Of course, we will be using this against them. Again, it's amazing. First, the outstanding issue must be addressed. Return the company's property immediately, dear Homa and dear lawyers from Kroman Reumert. Despite the unanimous annulment of the bankruptcy by Osterlandstret or 5th of March, more than 22 days after Kroman Reumert has still not fulfilled the following obligations." So again, I'm talking about send us the money, give us the complete documents, all the credentials, everything that was discussed and agreed on behalf of the company, all contracts, including the Bechtle Framework Agreement and what they have done with it, all IT systems, domain credentials, server access, and data backups. We're trying to restore connection to the website. Euro, the money block, this is required under the Konkursloven, which is the insolvency rule 1.1, the insolvency act, and article 1.1.10. Each day of non-compliance will be reflected in the damages claim. Of course, everybody now knows that this is going to be a huge claim for damages. Your email is evidence for all of these things. Your email becomes, Zaco has informed us that they are withdrawing. So they write here that Zaco is withdrawing from what? It's just a commercial agreement. On what basis is Kroman Reumer communicating with Zaco? Zaco is retained and paid by Shape Robotics, not by Kroman Reumert. Your firm represents creditors, dear Miss Homa. There is no estate, no trustee, and no mandate. Proceedings will be adjourned for 5 months now. So you will not get to be back as a trustee in this company. Even if, by God forbid, it will go back to bankruptcy, you will never be a trustee again. So forget about this. Yet Zaco informed your firm before informing the CEO. So they are discussing. So why I'm here as a CEO? For you to discuss back and forward without me knowing. Okay. I will stop reading this email because I want to take you to another email that is even funkier. And this email is sent by Zaco. Of course, I will show you exactly what we're doing. And I'm asking them to move the IP to the subsidiary level for a single purpose here, is because we knew that they were already trying to move the IP without a tender. I mean, Kroman Reumert. So I decided to fire Zaco on the 13th of March. Pay attention, very important. Exactly the same day they communicate. And then Zaco replies by their IP assistant and says, "We acknowledge receipts of your instructions to transfer the Fable IP. Please be advised that we also in receipt of correspondence from Kroman Reumert acting as representatives of Danske Bank and AE4 regarding a floating charge over these IP's assets." Guys, a floating charge is a charge. It's something that you have to go to court to improve it, to enforce it through a bailiff or through an insolvency or through a court decision. It's not something that naturally becomes available for somebody to benefit from it, okay? And this predates the liquidity support agreement mentioned in your email. Kroman Reumert has informed us, this is something how we do the transfer, informed us that the consent from the pledgees is required for any disposition of these 3 assets. These are not 3 assets, these assets, sorry. And thus we cannot initiate the process at this time. We recommend that Shape coordinate directly with Kroman Reumert. Once we receive written confirmation from the pledgees and the consent of the transfer, we will happy to proceed with the filing. So guys, this is how discussions, how we are supposed to run a company, you know? People discussing without us knowing, you know, it's amazing. We are the owner of several IPs that were considered zero by Kroman Reumert, and suddenly there is a fight on them. Decide, please. Please decide, yeah? Is it 0 or not? So Zaco makes some false statements, and of course I will make I will make a very detailed explanation on the written article that will come up later this evening or tomorrow morning. But I got an email today from a German patent office from Grünecker, Munich, and that was stating the Shape Robotics is undergoing legal reconstruction. This is how Zako and was informed. We're not undergoing legal reconstruction. It's a normal process. This is false and without authorization. We have sent out emails to the agents on all open cases. This means every patent agent globally received false information. How does Zako discuss with Kronman Reumert, both of them private companies, not governmental agencies, about the property of Shape that was considered zero by Kronman Reumert as a trustee? Guys, decide, who are you? I'm not talking to you guys. Hi, clown. No, I'm sorry. What is a clown show? Okay. The charges, prove them or withdraw them. You claim floating charges are seated on the 30th of December. So first, again, another symbol and a very confusing way of running a discussion. You are talking about a document, Kronman Reumert, that you should name it and paragraph it and annex it. We are talking about document 377, signed by X and Y and Z on the date of. That shows what? What are you talking about, 30th of October? Within 48 hours, I'm asking you to produce A, the registration documents, number, authority, and certified copies, identification of who exercised this accession and under which instruments, and what are the IPs that are registered there, because I know what we are talking about, and you have absolutely zero, okay? The legal basis for coordinating with the debtor's IP service provider, please, first of all, okay? How this works, what are you? Are you a lawyer? Are you a trustee? Are you our lawyer now? Or, okay? And I'm informing the partners of Kronman Reumert of what is coming. Of course, we showed them that the document was falsely signed. Therefore, this signing ceremony was never concluded. Therefore, we also are going to rebut that in court, should there be the case. Right now, there is no case in the court on that document. So we conclude with the demands that also we made public today in the public announcement. So it's a combination of those factors, so you understand. So, yeah, this is where I am. This is where we are. This is what we have to do. So, guys, shoot with questions. Louise, you have the microphone. I'm not saying I think that you are progression because I ask questions about the A4 termination. It could be whoever. You are a part of the, how to say, to make it simple. Progression is a brand name already. So under progression are the people that ask questions under A4. So you are part of that brand name. That's the idea. But ask questions about A4, whatever. I will answer anything you want. It's important to have dialogue. That's the most important aspect. So I hope I made myself understood, and I apologize. I was a little bit too noisy maybe, but I have never seen in my life. I've been to court, I think 300 times in court, 95% of the cases. You can see my court record. I've been in almost all jurisdictions of this world with my former job. So this is absolutely, yeah, it's a shit show, not a clown show, Jorgen. Okay, let's go to questions, please. I don't want to keep you in this nice Friday evening. Let's go. Questions. Are you still on? I want to extend a special thank you to my arch enemy, nemesis, Nimbo Chromis. I really appreciate to have such a smart person as a critical voice of what we do. Thank you. I stopped asking questions since you don't answer me and call me an idiot. I didn't call you an idiot, no. So why did you connect here if you don't want to ask questions? I apologize if there is any misunderstanding. Of course, I'm here to answer questions. No, I really want to see the questions. Jorgen. Everybody's asleep. If you're asleep, I will disconnect for to go to sleep too. Yeah, let's give some time for people to to go through this. I don't know, Luis, what you're talking about. Do you want to ask some questions or you just want to complain? Cosmin, I wrote to NASDAQ why they won't resume trade, but no answer yet. And did they answer? Did they reply anything to you, Cosmin? No, they should have answered to us yesterday. But, you know, on the other hand, you have to be very correct in assessing the situation right now. NASDAQ has not seen before a situation like this one. So I guess it's rather difficult for them to process this in a very correct manner. So I believe that right now the steps that we undertake with the EGM, and again, thank you very much, the support of the EGM you saw live. This kind of EGM never happened, in my opinion, and this kind of transparency never happened on the Nasdaq Nordics market. And you've seen also yesterday in my live, this is something against the system, more or less. It's a disruptive way of doing it, but it protects retail investors. And retail investors, in the end, are the ones that lost the most in the last years. It's not about the smart money, it's about the extraction schemes on the retail investors. This is what we try to protect. So we need to understand that also NASDAQ has a problem when answering this, and they want to be quite careful. Any reaction from finance after filing against them? What? I don't know. I don't read finance. You read finance. You're in Denmark. I understood something. Somebody told me something about MarketWire has made some sort of discussion with finance, but yep, how can you have somebody from finance discussing with MarketWire when MarketWire and Borsen are owned by the same company? So it's like, who's independent and where there? So I have not seen anything else. Tell me what else. I see the Louise is upset. Okay, let's not keep Louise upset. It's very important not to have people upset. I will address the matter. So yeah, Louise has written to me a couple of times in private, trying to contradict our legal strategy. From my point of view, we have replied exactly what we should have replied, and why I think that Louise is a progression style or progression troll was the fact that everything that we discussed immediately was moved to Nordnet, and I have no account on Nordnet, and of course nobody else besides progression on Nordnet is interesting, and of course there is absolutely zero relevance about AE4 in what we do right now, and it's only that account that has some sort of curiosity regarding AE4. Then of course Louise called me a poor man, and I'm not poor at all. I have all my books here, so I read 4,000 books. I have everything in my head. You can put me to the ground and back up. I'm still going to reconstruct everything. So, yeah, and we had a discussion that got a little bit tougher between men, women, strong people. You can have discussions, but I think it's more important how you make up than how you fight. Therefore, from my point of view, I'm strong enough to say I apologize if the wording was not correct, but also I have all the openness to answer the questions here. Therefore, ask the questions, Louise, if you want to have questions. Otherwise, complain, and that's it. Cosmin, any way to rebuild the subsidiary, everything can be rebuilt, Cosmin. So step by step, we can rebuild everything. Is not this was not created by something out of thin air. It was created by people that work and they are motivated to do that. In general, yeah, it doesn't matter, Luis. It's irrelevant what you're saying. Ask the questions. I apologized. Go. So yeah, Cosmin, yes, there are many ways to rebuild the subsidiaries, but you have to understand something. Shape died. Shape Robotics that you know when you used to work at Shape and collaborate with Shape, because I believe we're talking about somebody that has worked in the company. Therefore, it's important that you understand that Shape died and Shape is getting a new life, or shareholders get a new life in a new sort of a setup, which we can rebuild based on goodwill of the teachers, the goodwill of the shareholders, and the strategy that we put in place into phase education. Good, Luis. Now you call me an idiot, and now you got caught in lies. Yeah. Lies about what? I did call you an idiot. I thought you were an idiot at that time. Yeah. I have no problem calling you an idiot. You can call me an idiot also. I remember my teacher when I was studying mathematics, went to the mathematics Olympics when I was in high school, has called me an idiot at mathematics. And I was an idiot at mathematics at this point, but I was very good at physics. So he congratulated me at physics. So you can be idiot at music and at physics, but still very good at dancing. Or it's a way of saying things. It's not really that important. Words are important when they have meaning, and here it was no meaning. Therefore, let's go to the topic. Do you have real questions, or you came here to complain about feeling sad that we had a tougher discussion? So, Cosmin, many ways to move forward. Many ways. Not in the same setup. That's what I said to all the shareholders and discussed also with people that have voted. The core potential about education and educating people is still there, okay? Luis, what are you talking about? Put the questions or just gossip. There's no question here. That's exactly the progression style, trolling. Good. Anyone else? What happened with A4? I explained thoroughly what happened to A4. But if you want, I can explain again, okay? Peter, why did Mar prevent you going public with the info in 2024? Guys, relax. It's no problem. We need to answer everybody. And again, we are not here in the mainstream media. We can use stronger language. We can do whatever. But let's be strong and decent, okay? So, your question, why did Mar prevent you going publicly with the info in 2024? This is the question that you want me to answer? I have explained it thoroughly. It's not Mar preventing you to go public with the info in 2024. I will explain very clearly exactly what happened, okay? During my tenure as CEO, okay, which started in May 24, I have day-to-day criticized the decision of AIFO directly to the AIFO, to AIFO and to the board of directors that did the uplisting of the company, okay? Till November 25, we had an open lawsuit prepared against AIFO. So let me make it very clear to everybody again. In 23, end of 23, the board of directors and the management of the company, I was not part of that situation, of that setup, has made an uplisting of the company. That uplisting of the company to the main market had a due diligence behind it and a prospect. In that due diligence and in that prospect, there were no discussions regarding potential cancellation of the collateral from AE4. AE4 was a strategic partner of Shape Robotics, and everything that has been financed up to mid and end 24 and beginning 25 was done with AE4 collateral. Okay? So, in the summer of 24, I have found out through the board that there is an issue with extending the collateral after December 25. Pay attention. Yeah? Everything has been clearly shown, and of course everybody in the chat can comment on that if it was not well understood, and I can improve the way it was explained because it's a lot of documentation. And I have immediately taken action and explained that this GBR regulation that does not allow publicly listed, the one that was cited by A4, so A4 was citing a GBR regulation, EU regulation that does not allow the AIFs. Okay, so European investment funded groups, which every country in Europe has one, to fund companies that are publicly traded on the main market, except two exceptions. The two exceptions are, you are a digital transformation company, or you are a company that works in the environmental and all these kind of ESG directions, you know, green energy, stuff like that, okay? We have asked the AE4, end of the year 24, to extend, to apply to this GBR regulation, because Shape Robotics is a digital transformation company. It has always been a digital transformation company, not something else. And we had already example of GBR implementation in Shape Robotics, of AIF implementation using the GBR rules in Shape Robotics Romania, who obtained the same AIF collateral in the same period of time we discussed. Therefore, the MAR, what I have explained all the time, was related to the fact that I was never in the position to share that AE4 has stopped the support of Shape Robotics, or that this support is crucial for the continuation of the Danske line of credit, because you have to understand something. The AE4 was not the line of credit, it was the collateral for the Danske line of credit, okay? So everybody needs to understand how these things operate. I do not have any reason to share this lack of support that was theoretically on the table earlier than the end of November. The end of November came with the loss of support with AI4, and it should have been replaced according to the board internal decisions, which I will make available tonight if that's the case, that you need it, which shows that we had an approved budget of 28 million euros in convertible loan in November 25. Yeah, I will show you the budget, okay? This budget should included also a structure of convertible loans that would have replaced AI4. So, should we have not been in the situation that we were bombarded after the release of Carnegie information from left and right, this AI4 would have been a closed deal, completely transparently closed in November. So there is no way you can inform under MAR abuse regulations things that are not final. We were discussing up to that point solutions. So how could I have come outside and say, sorry, I have a feeling that we might get that? No, it was a situation that dynamically changed. Therefore, we have correctly, and this is something that we discussed with NASDAQ and verify, we have correctly informed the market about AI4's loss of collateral in the moment it happened. So it was not something that we didn't inform, okay? So I hope that, again, everybody understood this very clearly and we park this topic, okay? That's the situation, nothing else, proven by documents. So, any other questions, Luis? Peter, did you take a pill? Jorgen, deadlines for Nasdaq, it's like deadlines for, I don't know. I don't think that they care about those deadlines. It's I don't know. What do you want to know, Luis? Show the FO termination who is SR received the information in 24. Long story short, what SR? That was, Luis, there was no termination they were discussing because those guys didn't know even if they could terminate. You don't understand the basics of this problem. They didn't have a solution to terminate. They never informed the board. That's why today we made public this announcement that we cannot go against the AFO. Or not cannot. We should not go because it's a state agency and in the end they made a mistake. But the problem was why the board allowed it to happen. So the board, my board of directors at that time doesn't have any sort of information to share. And it's not about me. There was never a termination in an official manner earlier than November, okay? So again, what are you trying to, and how is that AFO thing so relevant in the moment, at the moment? Let's focus on the things that are showed that the board was part of the dialogue in 24. I showed it yesterday. You have all the information. Just look at the live yesterday. Yeah, let's share the screen if it's that relevant, okay? Let's play with that. Let's play with your theory, okay? And I show it again. Come with other questions. Please don't talk like this here. I don't accept it. To look at the market reaction late November 25. The rate dropped like a rocket. No, it's not about that. The market reaction came from the Carnegie dump. It has nothing to do with the AFO. Or it's not about AFO. The market reaction comes with the two things. The underlying issue is the fact that we announced that we're not showing Q3 reports. AFO, or could be also AFO. In the end, it is what it is. That's the moment when we could have released it. I don't know exactly how markets react. Okay, let me share you the screen so that nobody will complain again. So this is an email from September 24, and I will just print it out and make it, for instance, available for everybody. I will save it now as PDF, and I will make it available for you, okay? So it says that, hi all, this is the chairman of the board, Jeppe Franzen, writing, yeah? I had a call with Henrik from AFO. They will send us an email as follow-up from the meeting with Danske Bank, okay? According to Henrik, we have a chance to continue the partnership with AFO if we establish an operational subsidiary managing the Danish Nordic business and if the subsidiary is legally attached to the mother company who then is listed on the main market. September 24, okay? Ideas, they knew they had problems, so that's, and if necessary, I can connect you to my email for everybody to see it. I'm just trying to make things differently a little bit, okay? So, if it does not make any difference whether the mother company is a holding or an NS limited liability, this way AFO believes that they can avoid the EU market listed company rules. This is exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Of course, AFO will look at liquidity and security for the Danish subsidiary. AFO should provide credit facility. We also need to have a Danish bank as part of the cooperation. When we have the email and explanation with AFO, we can discuss this among us to set up the meetings and the facility. Okay? Sometimes we are also smart to reply. Okay? This is September 24. As you can see, still work in progress. I'm not going to go through all of these things because I think this is proof enough that even in September 24, there was no idea about the cancellation. on anything. It was still work in progress, okay? Let's see how the market reacted in 24, okay? Can I have a question, Luis? Did you vote? I mean, did you vote for the EGM? Yeah, I know Cosmin, you voted. I was asking Luis if he voted. Okay, so let's go for the daily chart and let's be a little bit technical about this. Let's see how big was the impact of the AE4 claim. Just play with that a little bit, yeah? So you say that, what day did you say, Luis? 25th of November, 25? Okay. Monday. January, November 25. December. I don't know why I lost the track. Ask me questions. I will share some information very immediately. Okay, good topic. I think I put the bio in the app. You should have seen it. I don't know why my trading view is not indexing. November 25, yeah. So actually, if I'm not wrong, we have November 25 was quite a good day. We had an increase in share price. So you voted, Luis? No, November 25 we dropped. How much we dropped? Not so much. Why are we saying that November 25 was such a? I think November 27 was the very. Let's take a moment to close the day, because I remember that 27 was a very bad day of trading. Yeah, I don't see it being such a bad day. Honestly, I don't believe it's such a bad day, November 25. So I remember that the biggest drop came from Finance, when Finance started writing the articles, which is why we claimed against them. But anyways, I cannot change what it was, and of course, what I can promise it is to work like this. Yeah, November 28. Yeah, but that's November 27. It was the company announcement. Let's go to the company announcement. Nasdaq. Yeah, let's look at November. November. I was looking at the company announcement. Let me share the screen so that everybody, now we don't get bored here. So we have the announcement, 2nd of January, 22nd of December, November 27. Yeah, that's the day, November 27. So see, it's the file of the formal complaint, and it's the moment that we started having this reaction for sorry, Shape Robotics files for this. This is the moment where we have the market manipulation. So it's regarding the market manipulation. It's not the AFO, because AFO it's 1 million euros. Come on, it's irrelevant for Shape. The more relevant it was the situation with Carnegie and the fact that yeah, and we already have an agreement. I didn't know that this agreement. We had an agreement in place, and casus preferentem, it is the situation here, Luis, because when you go into court as you should go on this contract, they prepared the contract, and they didn't follow on the signature, so on the ceremony. Let me talk about the board members. Can you share? Okay, so Aurel, you know already from his past as Lenovo. We have Kim Okola, who is hopefully going to help us. He's a good friend of mine. He's one of the best business developers and specialists in governmental business and high, let's say, sensitive areas, working for many years. He's Finnish. First of all, we need a Finnish strong background board member. And he lives in Dubai, so works very closely with the Middle East market now. The guy is a little bit stressed. I just talked with him today because of the situation in Dubai, but he's a very strong profile to have to help us solve the. Yeah, it's possible, Luis. It's possible. Okay, let's forget it. It's in the past. And what is more important for us, I think, is the third profile, which is Alexandru Ambrosie. Alexandru Ambrosie is one of the most esteemed white-collar crimes and litigators, lawyers and litigators in Central Eastern Europe, and well-known in the Western Europe. A Templeton guy, works for Templeton Fund and properties on proprietatea fondul proprietate. I think Cosmin knows that it's like the largest. It's the largest fund in the market, and he knows quite well how to navigate these very difficult waters we are swimming into. So, but for this moment, we need this kind of a board profile. I cannot pay attention to the loss of ASO for support on 28. Yeah, but like I said, it's A4 support. I don't know if that is that relevant. And the drop occurred because we didn't show the numbers. And anyways, maybe it is. I cannot change what it was before. I'm just telling you that. You know, let's open a topic that I never had considered opening, but right now I'm a little bit pissed. So the topic is simple. Do you think I worked alone in Shape Robotics? It's like everybody talks about markup, markdown, mark everywhere, okay? It's not about Mark. It's not Mark. Shape Robotics was never run by Mark till 24th of May 2024 and 27th of May, sorry. And from that moment, I was under a board, still a CEO. So I cannot. I showed you yesterday, and Luis, you missed the most important aspect. I was not allowed to speak to you guys. I was not allowed to speak to Northern, not allowed, okay. I could have lost my job, but the idea is like this. You have to all to understand that I have a huge financial interest in making Shape work. We put money, time, everything. Shape Robotics is what we have built in my family. And right now I'm extending this open door into to all the shareholders as family. So if we are shareholders here, I don't think we have to battle between us. Battling between us is completely irrelevant. We had a zero value yesterday. I mean, 21 days ago. Right now, there is a chance to have some value. I cannot guarantee anything, and I won't be able to guarantee anything, but I can guarantee you that we are on the same side of the front, okay? No, okay, you don't want to change the past, but lingering too much in the past, it's toxic. It's another economic cycle. So now we have to look at the future, which is Should not be anything like the past. Shoot with questions. Go for them. And Luis, by the way, let's get something straight. Very simple. When you have one of the largest law houses in Northern Europe, okay, Kroman Reumert, drafting an agreement between a small company and a huge A4 Danske conglomerate, okay, you expect that agreement to be very well designed and extremely well documented, okay? You don't expect it to have paragraphs where you put curator 39 days before that. You don't expect it to have an unsigned ceremony. You expect that, and first of all, you have to understand in B2B transactions, in general, there is no casus proferentem. It's just the fact that in B2B transactions, when we're talking about companies like banks that have everything, they could bankrupt you, which is the situation we are, then their casus preferentem works in our favor. I've won 2 lawsuits, one major in many years ago in Amsterdam against Bosch, exactly on this situation, not bankruptcy, but on the fact that a huge supplier at that time for me decided to trick us into the contract. And I won 5 million euros out of that contract. It can be checked in my past in Amsterdam High Court, okay? So I know very well what I'm talking about. When you are a big company and you're enforcing contracts on smaller companies, this is not fair. And the fact that you do it in a way that Kroman Reumert has done it, is pure negligence, because everybody needs to understand something. Kroman Reumert has assigned a junior, Albert Mungo. The guy just became lawyer in February 26. This is the guy that was handling your money. So what are we talking about? This is absurd. Look at the emails I get today. So let's at least have a comment on that, no? This is the reality we live today. And I agree, maybe A4 was not well handled, but I tell you something very direct right now. There are many things you don't know that were not well handled. But this is a discussion between me and the board, okay? Let's go to questions, because Peter, you survived after the pills that you were taking. Jesus Christ, superstar. Buffin deadline, I forgot. Are there any other important dates? All these dates are important for us. They're not important for the establishment. Forget about it. We all know that they're not going to answer. There is no answer for them, because what should they answer? The only hope that they get is that we go bankrupt again. And now for 5 months we can do whatever. They can do whatever they want. We won't get bankrupt. So the only deadline was today to have a headquarter. We solved the headquarter problem. Let's keep another 7 minutes, so we'll close at 7 sharp Danish time, 8 sharp Romanian time. It's okay, Cosmin, about the board members. You want to know more? Peter Mortensen, did you vote for the EGM? I think Peter did not vote. Don't forget. Yeah, glad to hear that one of them has a strong legal background. That's compulsory. Yes, I have a strong legal background. He has a strong legal background. Much stronger than mine, yeah. But you can see that I'm quite skilled in the field. Good. Luis, any other questions? I will let you relax. I see that you have fallen asleep from my ranting today. So, yeah, I want to wish you a very good weekend. Hope to get some sleep, get some power back on, and Monday, back to booziness. War continues. War is a normal state of a human being. It's just peace is not the normal one. I think somebody smarter than me said that, but I will take it for myself tonight. Okay. Adios. Ciao. Bye bye. Have a good evening.